New on NFL Live. Okay, this is really cool. This video just coming in. The Chiefs posting the first video of Patrick Mahomes throwing since his season ended 101 days ago. The injury was a torn ACL and LCL back in December. What do you think, Dan? Just first reaction to seeing him back out there. It looks pretty good, right?
Yeah, I love it. Obviously, we all want Patrick to get back as healthy as possible, as quickly as possible. Opening day would be absolutely amazing for him to be the Week 1 starter. I don't put anything past him.
You know, guys, I was thinking, was PUP in the mix for a meeting? He would have to miss the first 4 games if he wasn't ready to go. The fact that we still have 5 more full months to go and he's doing this already is super encouraging.
Yeah.
And obviously, we all want to see a healthy Patrick Mahomes as quickly as possible.
Even if they want to slow play it a little bit, they have Justin Fields. That's part of the reason why they bring him in. But, man, to your point, that's still 5 months away. A lot of time for him to get ready.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I was surprised to see that today. I mean, that's really incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're a Chiefs fan, you're like watching that on loop, and we get it. Okay, big news earlier this month when the Dolphins released quarterback Tua Tagovailoa right as the new league year started. Tua, of course, would go on to sign the 1-year deal with the Falcons. Tua spoke to the media in Atlanta for the first time yesterday about why this is now the right fit.
Last year wasn't the best year for me, and, you know, I'm looking for a fresh start, but fresh start in the sense of being able to compete, being able to go back out there and playing good football, and I think the best football is still ahead of me. You got Yak and Kyle Pitts. You can throw it in the vicinity of Drake. Drake's going to catch it. You got a back like Bijan, and you got the play-action game to work off of that to get these guys the ball. All in all, I think it can be really dangerous.
Trying to figure out where he was for that.
Some balcony.
It's like
somewhere.
The balcony, the camera's all moving.
Hawaii.
Okay, Hawaii, I don't know, yeah. Adam, Michael Penix Jr. suffered a partially torn ACL back in November. So how does that play into the dynamics in that quarterback room and where they may go as far as who starts?
Well, Laura, that's the first big question that the Atlanta Falcons have to answer with their new head coach, Kevin Stefanski, their new general manager, Ian Cunningham, their new president, Matt Ryan. They have to see how healthy Michael Penix is, because until that is figured out, then everything is up in the air. And with Michael Penix's health in question, there's a real path for Tua Tagovailoa to become the Falcons' starting opening day quarterback, because Penix will have to operate in a new system with a new offense. Who knows how quickly he'll pick it up? Who knows how much he'll be able to practice during OTAs in the summer? That opens up a path for Tua to be able to be the Falcons' potential opening day starter. Now, they did add Trevor Siemian this week. They moved on from Kirk Cousins when the new league year began. So the quarterback room as it stands right now is Penix, Tua, and Trevor Siemian. And Tua, right now, would seem to be the favorite to be the opening day starter, but all is riding on the health of Michael Penix and how his knee is recovering.
Yeah, I would expect Tua to be the opening day starter just strictly off of health and Michael Penix and how healthy does he get to actually start to learn this new offense. I think for Atlanta, can you get Tua back to playing with what I would call the triple A's? Aggression, accuracy, and anticipation. If you look on the left side, that 22 to 24 stretch, that's what he was known for. No one was throwing the ball sooner to guys that weren't open but would throw them open into windows, and Tua did. And then last year, as the season went on, he became a much less aggressive quarterback. He became a much less anticipatory quarterback, and the accuracy fell off because he was waiting for guys to get open and seeing it rather than just kind of the muscle memory of cutting it loose. If Atlanta can get him back to that, I do think that he could play winning starting quarterback football in the NFL. But I think it's a little bit of Atlanta getting him there, and I think it's a lot of Tua getting himself back to being that kind of player.
I know so many people are like, oh, man, you know, this worked out well with Sam Darnold. We've seen other players, quarterbacks especially, kind of rehab their careers, and everyone kind of feels like that could happen here in some ways. But there's a long way to go to get there, right? And
you got to remember, Sam was – his superpower was resiliency. He never got broken from his journey. Does Tua have that?
It's hard to have that, right?
Right.
Okay, still no decision for Aaron Rodgers and his future in Pittsburgh. For context, Rodgers did not make his decision last year until June. That's why earlier in the show, Dan said it'll be June. Reports have said they expect a resolution earlier this offseason. New Steelers wideout Michael Pittman Jr. was asked about the quarterback position earlier this week.
Obviously, the whole quarterback thing is going on. She's like, I don't know nothing.
Michael.
I haven't talked to Aaron.
What a
but
way to
I
put
see
it.
him
What a
go.
way to put it. Hold on. The whole quarterback thing going on. What do you mean you haven't talked to Aaron? What do you mean?
So I'm trying to give him space, because Aaron's a guy, like, he likes his space. Like, he likes to get, like, refreshed. Like, I didn't want to just get signed and then blow him up and be like, hey, Aaron, like, what's the deal? But, like, just give him time, him and his wife, like, they got to handle some things. And then, like, he will decide if he wants to come back or not.
Great job by Kay Adams there, asking the tough questions, really trying getting more out of him. I love it. So the Steelers' newest wide receiver hasn't heard from Rodgers. Adam, any sense of how much the team, though, has heard from their potential quarterback?
It's sort of been a moving target here all along. I think the initial hope was that they would hear from him about 30 days after the season. That became mid-March. That became late March. And lo and behold, here we are in late March, and there's still no answer from Aaron Rodgers. These things usually tend to drag out. And this one is dragging out again. Listen, I would think that they're going to have to know something before the NFL draft, but this deadline, this date, continues to be pushed back to later and later. And it's not like they really need an answer immediately anyway. Like, they're going to be depending on Will Howard. They have Mason Rudolph on the roster. And if Aaron Rodgers decides he doesn't want to come back, Kirk Cousins is out there, and they always could pivot to him as an option. So it's not like they have to have the answer. The sooner, the better. But Aaron Rodgers operates on his own timeline, and there's no deal and no decision done right now, and they'll continue to wait for an answer for the quarterback that they do want to return to Pittsburgh to work with Mike McCarthy again.
Adam, I know that's a great summary of what's happened so far, but to me, like, the way they've comported themselves, it seems like it is a certainty that they are going to sign. When you think about all the veterans that they have acquired, starting with the trade of Michael Pittman, Rico Dowdle, Jameel Dean, amongst others, like, to me, that is a team. And we were even heard the owner talk about, like, we don't rebuild in Pittsburgh. We want to be competitive every year. So I don't think you acquire all those veterans if you were going to tear it down and rebuild with a new head coach, much the way we're seeing, for example, the Dolphins. So to me, we'll see what happens, but I can't imagine that Aaron Rodgers, unless he changes his mind, doesn't come back, because to me, from a team-building standpoint, it certainly seems that's the way this is heading.
Adam illustrated some of the loose deadlines or maybe markers as far as timeline goes. He told Pat McAfee earlier this month that there's no deadline put in front of me. That, of course, coming from the Steelers side of things.
Right, but Laura, if I was them, I don't like using the word deadline because it does impact your credibility in the future, but, like, as Adam mentioned, like, you want to know by the draft, because if you're sitting there at 21,
Adam, we're going to have Aaron Rodgers breaking news at the draft again? We see that happen again?
I don't expect that Pittsburgh's going to be going quarterback in round one. So to me, the draft is not really a deadline. I don't think that factors in. I think that they know they're smart enough to give Aaron Rodgers the time he needs to operate in the space that he wants and needs, and that when he's ready, he can give them a decision about whether he's ready or not to come back, whether that's next week, next month, or post-draft. I don't think the draft is going to impact what they do and how much they want him back.
Okay, so really interesting there. If you're a Steelers fan or just a fan in general trying to figure this out, I think we just realized it's going to be sometime